The creek began as a whisper in the stones behind it, slipping over fallen leaves, gathering stories in its shallow bends. It hurried through grasses and fallen branches, silver in the morning light, until it reached the cliff's edge. There, instead of surrendering immediately to the valley below, it paused. A pile of rocks cradled it, a still, clear pool balanced above the drop. The surface shimmered and reflected the sky and passing birds, clouds drifting across it quietly. Beneath, the water waited patiently, circling before spilling in a thin, shining ribbon over the precipice. Even on the brink of falling, it found a moment of calm. The dead tree had fallen long ago, its trunk severed by the saw, bleached silver by sun and the rain. It lay partly over the cliff's edge, suspended between gravity and grace. Below, the valley waited patiently to greet the log. Above, the wind tested its precarious position, but it did not fall. Several living trees leaned toward it, their trunks bowed, branches reaching out like arms, their roots held fast in the rocks that had failed the huge tree. In storms, the trees tightened their embrace. In stillness, they whispered through leaves. The dead tree no longer lived, yet it was not alone. They grew where no forest should have dared, along the raw edge of a cliff that split stone from sky. Beside them rose a wall of ancient rock, sheer and unyielding. Before them yawned the valley, hundreds of meters of empty air, falling to a creek that whispered far below from the waterfall beside them. Between a rock and a hard place, the trees learned balance. Their roots threaded into cracks barely wide enough to hold a promise. They drank from mist instead of clouds. When storms came roaring up the valley, the wind tried to pry them loose, pressing them toward the abyss. The cliff face gave no shelter. The valley offered no mercy. Yet they did not get weary. They grew strong, straight, leaning into one another and the cliff behind them. Branch tangled with branch. Roots overlapped in secret networks beneath the stone. What one could not hold alone, they held together. From below, they looked fragile, silhouettes against the sky. From above, they looked stubborn, green defiance against gray rock. They lived in tension, always pulled, never settled. But in that narrow margin between stone and falling air, they found a fierce kind of belonging.